Welcome, guys, to the Flawless Growth Podcast. I am super excited to have you here.
Yes.
Awesome.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's start with the first question. Can you tell us a little bit about yourselves and how did you end up working as a fitness coach at Bespoke Fitness?
Okay, so hi, my name is Yan. Based in Singapore. So I opened Bespoke Fitness with my brother, and it's a family business, so siblings. And then my mom came on board a couple of years into the business.
Love it.
Basically, my goal, what? Not as a business owner, but as your client. Yeah, as my client later. Now
Got
we're
it.
telling the world now. Recorded really live. Sorry. Okay, you can edit. So it's live. Okay. So sorry about that.
No, it's
My
okay.
mom has no control over podcasts, so okay, sorry. You can edit that out.
Yeah.
So my drive is basically the passing of my dad. So my dad passed away at 69, very young. So I looked back at his life and I realized that he was obese. He probably had a whole lot of health conditions,
Mhm.
but he was averse to seeing doctors, so we never knew. But so we're just the reverse, right? We're science based and we test everything, all our biomarkers, everything. Um, and reflecting on that, I wanted to prevent that predicament from happening to my mom
Mhm.
and also to other people because I know that chronic illnesses, like cholesterol issues, diabetes, high blood pressure, they lead to bigger issues, cancer,
Mhm.
etc. And these can all be preventable if you start early enough. So that is the drive of our gym. So we are Singapore's premier gym clinic. So we basically fix one chronic illness at a time
Oh, nice.
with our would-be workouts, proper nutrition, and sufficient sleep. So we prescribe three things.
I love that. Two things here. I usually see that this happens more with men than when with women, that they don't want to go to the doctor as much. And I wonder why that is, because I've heard a lot of stories of guys that don't really they I don't know if they're afraid of it's being lazy, they just don't like going to the doctor.
I think it's like ignorance is bliss.
Mhm.
So I do meet a lot of clients that don't want to see doctors, whether male or female.
Mhm.
But then when they have conditions, and then it presents itself, and then when we try to address the conditions and tell them like, hey, you need to take XYZ test with the doctors
Yeah.
to make sure that you don't have these issues and we can fix them. So it's either you want to be ignorant, you want to ignore them,
Mhm.
or don't want to know because you don't want to change anything. I think change is
Right.
very scary for some people. So they'd rather be ignorant and kind of just brush it off as like, okay, it's aging, rather than,
Yeah.
oh, I can change something like, oh, example, recently I had a client with like fatty liver
Mhm.
and he was diagnosed by his doctor and he's kind of like just brushed it off and said, oh, it's normal, in Singapore. Or another client said, "Oh, high blood pressure is normal in Singapore, but it's not healthy.
Mhm.
So while maybe normal, you can be healthier, but it requires change, and I think that's the hardest thing for most people because they like their lifestyle, they like their late nights, whining, dining, etc. Maybe they don't mind adding a little bit of exercise, but to
Right.
change the way they eat or to change their routine is very difficult. Humans are not geared for change, basically. We like status quo. So getting them to be out of that cycle is very
Mhm.
difficult.
Mhm. Understood, 100%. And I wonder, like, so you've mentioned that you guys work with people with chronic illnesses. I wonder if you guys have had clients with chronic pain.
Chronic pain, like a frozen shoulder,
Or knees. Like, I've heard
knee.
this a lot of, yeah, like knees, shoulders, backs, necks.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
interesting.
yes, of course we do. Um, we have a resident sports orthopedic surgeon. So if a person comes to us with a serious injury or condition, we would like the doctor to diagnose the person first so that we know how to treat him or her appropriately. Because we
Mm-hmm.
don't want it to
Yeah.
we don't want to misdiagnose and give them the wrong prescription. So a lot of these chronic pains, or even acute pains. So even my brother has a slip disc, and he
Mm.
himself recovered in the gym through basically his own physiotherapy and his own exercise. So for a lot of us, a lot of the conditions that we treat, we've also actually experienced ourselves. So
Mm-hmm.
then we know firsthand
Yeah.
how to treat other people. For a lot of the time, because when you go to physiotherapy, no offense to physiotherapists, they do great work,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't go beyond the hospital setting. So the hospital setting is to rehabilitate patients from, like, say, like yourself, from surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like, maybe you've been bedbound or whatever for X period of time. So to go from like no movement to a little bit of movement to daily movement takes that physiotherapist specialization.
Mm-hmm.
But beyond that, you need to work on your strength in order to prevent the issue from coming back again. And
Mm-hmm.
that's where we come in. We do the strengthening portion so that we prevent the recurrence of such chronic pain.
Got it. Is this strengthening portion with just like bands, or does it really not need to have like weights?
You need progressive overload. So you
Okay.
need eventually to work on weights. You can start with
Mm-hmm.
bands and lighter weight, but as you get stronger, you need to actually build up strength. So we do use like machines as well as like free weights, barbells, dumbbells, etc.
Got it. Understood. And I'm curious, before your father passed away, and I'm sorry about that, were you already into the fitness world or not yet? No.
I think I called myself a floundering fatty. I think
Okay.
that was how you describe me. When my dad passed away, I was in my mid 20s.
Uh-huh.
So I think you can name every kind of fitness fad that I've done. Marathons,
Okay.
triathlons, been to the gym, did aerobics in that era, spin, all the Les Mills classes. I think I tried everything. Um, and I think one of the main things was when I did the marathon, I had a very serious foot injury, and then that
Wow.
really caused me to be a real fatty. So, like, I was out for months, and then I was like, oh, I can't run anymore, and I got fat, and then it just became a cycle. And it kind of became like my dad, and that scared me a little bit, like the yo-yo dieting and the weight going up, down. And I was just
Hmm.
I was really lost, basically. Yeah, so that that was me.
Yeah. But thankfully, you found your way now into fitness.
Yeah,
Thankfully, you
yeah,
didn't stay
the
in that.
proper fitness. Yeah.
Correct. Okay, and can now you tell us a little bit more about bespoke fitness? Um, so apart from the chronic illness, like focus, is there anything else that drives it apart from other fitness studios?
Yes, so we are science based. So the main drive is to improve health span. So even if a person does not have any chronic illnesses, for example, based on our prescribed exercise, so FitRX, and also proper nutrition, which we call BURP, Bespoke Eat Right program, and then prescribing enough sleep as well. We aim to improve health span, and this is all measured. So we do measurements of our biomarkers.
Mm-hmm.
So we're probably some of the most measured people in Singapore. A lot of people go to the gym and they're like, "Oh, I feel fit, I feel strong." But for example, last year we used the Sphygma core to measure like artery age. So
Mm.
I turned 42 in 2 days. Okay, so it's my birthday on Monday,
Oh, nice.
and my arteries are, I think, 20 years old. So I have the
Oh,
arteries of like
wow.
a 20. So
Very good.
that's just one example.
Uh-huh.
My mom turns 80 in December, and I think her arteries measured at what, 57? 26 years young. Yeah,
Very
26
good.
years younger. So
Wow.
that's just one indicator. We'll be doing like a skin age test. I think in September. My mom started it. We've done things like DEXA scans, blood work, etc. And we're all like measured at younger than our passport age. So
Mm-hmm.
that differentiates us from other gyms
Yeah.
that basically most people focus on aesthetics. Let's
Right.
just put it that way. The other thing that does differentiate us a little bit is that we skew a little bit older. So she's my youngest client now. She's my youngest client at 79. She is our gym ambassador. So basically, we we peg her at 79 as our gym ambassador because that sets us apart. And basically, I've told my mom, and she only came to this realization recently is that, okay, if I think about it this way, my mom is my future.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm 79 or I am 80, I'm going to be like my mom if I follow her lifestyle.
Yeah.
So my mom is a good testament. So she has no chronic illness at all. So if you look at all her blood work, everything, she's got no high cholesterol, no diabetes, not even pre-diabetic, no blood pressure issues, no osteoporosis, no sarcopenia. She takes zero medication.
Oh,
So I
nice.
always tell my clients that come along, it's like, hey, if you follow us, you'll be like us. And unfortunately, my mom's at an age where she sees a lot of her peers, even some of her juniors, or a few years more senior than her, like succumb or suffer from these preventable chronic illnesses, ailments, aches, pains. So like every week she's reporting to me, Auntie so and so had a knee surgery,
Yeah.
Uncle so and so is like, not well. I just feel quite sad. So earlier you mentioned about how do you like convince people to actually exercise. I think my mom has a really hard time because she can tell you like in all these 7 years that she's been with us
Uh-huh.
doing FitRX, she only managed to convince like one one person, one friend to
Oh
exercise
no.
with her. Another auntie who is 78, just 2 years younger than her. Other than that, it's a very hard sell. And after all these years, like now, when she turns around to her friends and they come to her and say, like, oh, I'm suffering from XYZ, my mom just turns around and says, well, if you had joined me 7 years ago, you wouldn't have this problem. So
Exactly.
on hindsight's perfect, but at the start it's like, no, I don't want. It's for young people.
Mm-hmm.
Not interested. Too much effort, too much
Right.
hard work. But then my mom will tell you it's hard work, right, ma? Very hard work. She suffers every day. Kidding, no, not every day.
Love
Yeah,
it.
you can tell her like, I suffer every other day. She suffers every other day.
Every other day.
Under her coaching. I'm very obedient to her. I think
Good.
that helps.
That's good. But
So,
have you learned to enjoy it?
yes, I do.
Nice.
Especially after.
Uh-huh.
When
Correct.
I do my smoothie, that's the best part.
Yes, it
She
is.
hates exercise, but the after smoothie is fun.
Smoothie.
It's just, she complains about the aches, the pains for the hour, but after that it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how it is. It's just it's or I say that sometimes the hardest thing is to get out of the house, but then
Yeah.
once you're there, like that's it. You're committed, and you do it, and you feel amazing after.
But I think the funny thing is, like, I think my mom, well, we didn't tell you that our gym's actually in our house, so she has
Oh.
no escape. So she opens her bedroom door. It's like, it's the gym. I can't run away now. Yeah. So
Oh, that's
that's
a good tactic.
harder for her. Yeah.
That's a great tactic. Love it.
And then indeed, she's got no escape.
Good.
Well, my eyes are also telling me what to do, when to do. So there's no escape from my eyes as well. Yeah, my eye power is very strong.
Exactly. And so how many people do you guys currently have or accept?
We have about 30 clients at the moment.
Very good. Awesome.
Um, yeah, classes are small. Yeah, like my mom says. So the ratio is one coach to four clients at the
Oh, that's
most.
very good. I love
Um,
that.
It is a small group, so we do take like personal training plans,
Mm-hmm.
but try to steer away from it because generally you find personal training is great to start with, especially if a person's like not very confident in the gym or they have other more serious issues that we need
Mm-hmm.
to deal with in terms of pain management, etc. But after that, our goal is always to shift them into our FitRx classes because
Mm.
um, there is like it helps with the community because when you are working on with other people, firstly you don't suffer alone, and then it's a little more fun. So
It's competitive.
it's
It's
competitive.
competitive.
My mom is the most competitive.
Ah,
We've
love
had she checks the scores every day basically. She's the most competitive person. We started 9 years ago, and we have clients who've been with us for 9 years.
it. Nice.
So that like just it just helps them stick around and
Mm.
stick to something. Um, that works and is a bit more flexible. Yeah. So generally the clients are in the classes. Yes.
I agree 100%. At least for me, I like the classes more than training alone. Sometimes I train alone if I cannot make the class. But yeah, there's something about the classes, the the people, as you mentioned, you do get a little bit more competitive, so you push harder, and maybe the
The
music.
class dynamic. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And then
Class
someone.
dynamic. Station. And also in my mom's case, like if anybody works out with her, they're like, "Oh, I can't use lighter weights than the auntie, like that kind of competition.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
healthy.
Uh huh.
Um,
Especially when my score has been posted up first thing in the morning.
yeah,
People come in, look at the score first,
yeah,
and say, I cannot lose out to her.
yeah.
Exactly. So cool. And question about what you mentioned about the blood work and all of the exams that you guys do. Is this something that it's included in the package, or is it something that it's apart and people just decide if they do it?
Okay, so it's part of enrolling in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
In order to join Bespoke Fitness, there are two ways. So one is member referral. So an existing
Okay.
member
Mm-hmm.
refers a friend or a colleague or a neighbor. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
The other way is to get a medical referral. So we have a resident family physician who we refer people to, and you need to be fit for exercise in order to be in our gym because he has ever turned people away who are
Wow.
just like say not very mobile or whatever the condition is. So then he does a consultation with them, just a basic consultation, and if they haven't done their blood work in a while, then he will do like a simple blood panel, and usually, what he does is he reviews their medical record. So
Mm-hmm.
whatever that record they have, they need to bring to the clinic, and then when he passes them, then they are fit to exercise with us. But the important thing is that because we want to improve everybody's biomarkers,
Mm-hmm.
we need a baseline. So
Mm-hmm.
if they come to us with something simple like high cholesterol, okay, so we know that okay, their reading is X, and then in 6 months' time, if they go when they go for another test, it improves. Then we know like okay, we can take a bit of credit for that, and then we can do like a testimonial.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously high cholesterol is a quite a common issue with a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of quite a common testimonial that we get. Other issues like say reversing osteoporosis, we've had that as well. Um, came to us with a bone density of YZ, and then after, I don't know, 2 years or whatever it was, improved. So we can present it as hard data.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people, like I said earlier, yeah, I feel good, but are you really
Right.
healthy? I don't really know.
Right.
So it's black and white,
Uh-huh.
basically. Yeah.
Tell Maria why you chose this stuff.
Oh, so we chose Dr. Ellen as our family physician because he himself does the FitRx classes, and he is my first client ever.
Oh, nice.
And himself has actually improved. So basically, when people go to him, they're like, "Oh, I actually know what kind of exercise you have to do. So if you can't walk or you can't climb stairs or something, or you can't squat or something, then he would really just say, no, you're not fit for exercise." Basically,
Wow.
yeah.
Do you know where he sends these kind of people? Like they have to maybe do physical therapies first, or
I don't know.
no
For
idea.
the ones that he, for the ones he turns away, usually they never start exercising, which is most unfortunate.
Oh yeah,
So
totally.
it's really it's too late, or
Hmm.
they just tend to be a bit older.
Right.
I think we've had quite a few people like in their 70s go see him, and then he passes them, but they kind of like never show up in the gym or get
Oh
scared or
no,
whatever, or they come to visit and then they never
they
start
never come back.
after us. Because I think okay, so we position ourselves as a gym clinic. Now, please take note: the first word is gym.
Hmm.
So you actually need to exercise. So you're familiar with the work of like Dr. Peter Attia.
Yeah.
He's who we follow. He always says that exercise is the single most significant tool that can change
Yeah.
your health.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are afraid of that. And
Mhm.
if you go to a lot of longevity clinics, I'm not going to name names, they don't focus on exercise. They focus on all the peripherals.
Mhm.
So, for example, or like red light therapy. Okay,
Right.
I'm not saying that it doesn't work, but that's not the primary way to improve your health span.
Hmm.
Okay, like cold water plunges and stuff like this, they may have benefits, but the main thing is that you have to
Yeah,
exercise.
totally.
If you're not exercising, if you're not building muscle, you're not doing cardio work, it's not gonna make a huge difference.
Mhm.
Like exercise, maybe influence 30%. If you do all the other peripheral tests, medication, supplements, etc., maybe 10%. So focus on the majors first, and then once you've got like the exercise down pat and your nutrition is better, of course we know like health is like 80% nutrition.
Hmm.
Then exercise, nutrition,
Hmm.
sleep, then you can add the supplements. The
Right.
supplements are not going to make or break you; they'll just help you a little bit.
A little bit.
But a
Yeah,
lot of people emphasize that.
it's a complement. It only works together. And if
Yes,
you have to pick
correct.
one, pick exercise.
Definitely.
Okay, now let's talk a little bit about digital marketing. So, have
Okay.
you guys tried any type of digital marketing for the business? And if so, which type have you guys tried?
So social media,
Social media? Uh huh.
that's probably like the only thing that we do at the moment.
Got it.
Um, and that's how we went viral.
Oh.
Last year, yeah, it's really TikTok saved our lives. Um, I think the year before last, somebody suggested to us, hey, why don't I post about all the seniors in my gym? They're quite inspiring. And I sat on it for a little while. Did a few TikToks. I wasn't super. Personally, I didn't use it before.
Uh
I think
huh.
that was the thing. And I didn't understand the power of it. And then for some reason, I think about 3 months in, one video of my mom went viral. She was obviously doing pull ups. It's
You're
very random. I
famous.
don't understand the algorithms and stuff. And then that went viral. Along the last year, she had a few business type opportunities,
Ooh.
government or commercial deals, filming stuff like that, advertisements, etc. So yeah,
That's
pretty good.
amazing.
Um, yeah,
Some pocket money is fine.
as long as she can be herself and she doesn't have to act like anybody else or say anybody's lines, that's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah, yeah.
Um, and then this year the same in the press and on social media, different influencer accounts, etc., that we've collaborated with.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's documentaries. So that is kind of the extent of our digital marketing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And did it went viral through just TikTok or also through like Instagram or just
Okay. So this year in particular, like maybe 2 or 3 months ago, and I think that's probably how you heard about us. This gentleman called Biohack or Biohack J, he posted us on Instagram. And
TikTok?
that's the one that went to US and got reposted on Old Lady Games and stuff like that. She's pretty famous there. Um, Almost 1 million views and still
Wow.
trending. So
Wow.
I think that for this year, that was like one of the main breakthroughs that we had. So I think the digital platform is very important.
Totally.
Whether local or global, everyone's on their phones, so it's
Uh-huh.
kind of you kind of.
And these videos that went viral, were they totally organic, or did you guys put some like paid advertising behind it?
Local advertising.
Organic.
Yeah, it's
Very
all
cool.
Organic.
Wow, that is amazing. Congrats.
They can't believe that I at 79 can
Mhm.
do all these exercises. It
Right.
just flows. Yes.
Very
So
cool.
it went viral to Indonesia as well.
Yeah, Indonesia, Hong Kong, China.
Wow. And after that, did you guys see a lot of or get a lot of new clients?
Yeah, definitely. That's the spike. Yeah.
Wow, yeah, totally the power of social media and the internet.
That's fine.
Mhm. And have you guys, is there any type of digital marketing that you guys haven't tried?
Like what?
Like, for example, yeah, like paid ads. So, because you're telling me
Oh,
you've done
that's.
paid ads or
I
blogs.
think we blogs no,
Okay,
but many years ago, pre-COVID, we did paid
paid
ads.
ads.
Like Facebook ads.
Mhm.
I'm not sure whether we did Instagram ads, but definitely on Facebook we did some
Mhm.
ads. Um, it wasn't quite as effective, but in
Okay.
that era, TikTok and Instagram weren't really there. So I think there's been a transition from
Uh
that.
huh.
Um, as with like say paid ads like Facebook, the users on Facebook tend to be a little bit older,
Yes. Mhm.
um, which is our more of our market, but it's something that we think about.
Uh huh.
We do think about that, yeah, but we haven't really explored it yet. Um, because of the nature of our size and we're quite
Mhm.
boutique, so
Yeah.
okay with the 30 clients and so.
Yeah, it happens a lot. I see it in a lot of businesses that sometimes like they do think about it, but they are maybe too busy at the moment, or they're focusing on hiring in a different like type of expertise, and they haven't thought. It's just sometimes as business owners, it's there's too much to do,
Yeah,
and
right.
it's
So we do everything ourselves, right? Yeah, so you're right. So we kind of like settle one thing at a time.
yes, exactly, exactly. Okay, and what would you say that is if there's any like current challenge that you guys have related to digital marketing?
Wow. I do it all, so it's quite. I do all the marketing, as in like so-called like Instagram, Facebook,
Uh-huh.
TikTok, and stuff.
It's
Uh-huh.
quite funny.
I'm just kind of, I'm just kind of flowing at the moment. And learning how to get better at it.
Mm-hmm.
I have no background in like like content creation and stuff. It's very accidental.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I'm not super technical, camera wise, etc. Music, framing and stuff. It's all very natural.
Uh-huh.
For my mom, so kind of like no filter stuff. I I used to get her to like do stuff for the videos,
Mm-hmm.
and then what I realized that it just stressed her out. So it didn't really work. So I kind of just sneak up on her now and take some videos.
Good. Okay,
That's what
that's
I.
cool.
Um, and the recent shift is shifting to more health content, educational type content, because I realized that exercise is important.
Mm-hmm.
We stated that already, but other elements that support your health journey, like nutrition, simple things like
Sunshine.
getting sunshine, etc.
Mm-hmm.
So simple key tips are, I think, what people are looking for in order to find like a coach or a health and fitness guru. I guess you put it that
Mm-hmm.
way. Somebody that knows what they're talking about, but come across as somebody who's approachable,
Right.
not like a doctor or somebody that does not. I think the most important thing is you have to practice what you preach.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever we say and what tell people, we actually do ourselves, and we are like walking examples and
Uh-huh.
walking testimonies. A lot of people just tell you stuff in theory, but they don't actually practice themselves. So that also differentiates us from other.
100%, and also that you guys can like show all of the exams you're getting, because yeah, I've never been to a gym like that where you study so much what's happening within your body. So I think it's super cool that you guys have a lot of proof. So
Yeah,
the
so it's
physical
all
proof.
science driven. Yeah, so I think the proof is what really sets us apart.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%. Very interesting. And I would say maybe in the future, that's probably how like all gyms are going to maybe start going towards that, because
Yeah.
every time health
So,
is more and more important, and it's growing a
yeah,
lot.
definitely.
Mhm.
Yeah, people move away from fads, trends as they get
Yes.
older.
Uh-huh.
So, like with my clients, they skew a little bit older because when you get to your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, you start doing regular medical tests, you
Hmm.
start getting like aids, etc. So, and these are the people who have A, the time, and B, probably, more resources at their
Yeah.
disposal. And so they are more interested in looking after their health
Mhm.
rather than chasing other things.
Correct. Amazing. Okay, Yan, thank you so much. And thank you so much to you as well for all of the knowledge, for talking about the business. I love it. I am super excited to connect all the way to Singapore.
Yes,
I've only done people in the
long
US
way to
so
go.
far. So very cool. Where can people know more about you guys and Bespoke Fitness?
So our website, www.bespokefitness.fit. That's where you can find us.
That's the easiest part. And then I guess like there you can find also if, the social media links, right? Okay,
Correct. Yeah,
perfect.
our social media links are all there.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds like a plan. Thank you guys.
Okay. Thank you, Maria.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.